Hey, it's James here from guitarist.com, and today I want to show you how to practice rhythm without a guitar. And this isn't meant to be some practice hack for like when you don't have access to a guitar or something like that. You know, this is meant to fix your rhythm, because a lot of the time people get caught up with the downstrokes and the upstrokes and all that other stuff, and they neglect their internal sense of rhythm. So we're going to put the guitar down and we're going to focus on that. And really quick before we jump into it, elephant in the room. I've had students who I told them, hey, we got to work on rhythm. And they're like, no, my rhythm's totally fine. So I just want to point out some symptoms. Not being able to keep track of where you are in the song, focusing so much on down and upstrokes and getting that perfect that your strumming doesn't necessarily feel natural, because the truth is downstrokes and upstrokes, they don't really matter. Once you have a proper sense of rhythm, you're just going to be moving your arm down and up, completely locked in with the beat, and you're going to be able to feel it out like a natural, and that's the ultimate goal. So, I don't want to like hurt anybody's ego or anything, right? But we got to let go of all those preconceived notions that you may have, so I'm sorry if I offend you in this way, but, you're here to get better. And, this is a hard talk that I've had face to face with many students. And at the end of the day, when you do just give in and go back to square one and just accept it, even if you don't need to, but you just do it anyways, you go back to square one and you practice these very basic things that we're going to do today. It's surprising. The results are surprising. They always end up reaching their goals. So, that's what I want to share with you today. Really quick, when it comes to the actual guitar stuff, I have a free ebook, has tons of good stuff in there. I'll put a link in the corner. I also have a course and a bunch of other stuff that we can talk more about later. And like and subscribe, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me. I really do appreciate that. Anyways, I'm going to take you through 3 different exercises today. The first one is incredibly basic. And then the second one is going to add one little challenging element to it. And then the third one adds on top of that. So it's all cumulative. First one is a general coordination exercise for feeling the main beat, because music, as I'm sure you know, has a pulse, and it's like a heartbeat that steadily goes. And sometimes the pulse is really fast, in more exciting or upbeat songs, or it's slower for like sadder songs. I'm oversimplifying, but the pulse is slower in sad songs, faster in exciting songs. And if we just kind of go along, it's not really saying much, right? So we have to divide that up with our main beats, the ones that you count, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can start to emphasize certain beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sounds like Iron Man or something. Like there's a bunch of songs that have that 3, 4. You could go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. If I speed that one up, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a really common beat in country and a lot of styles of music, right? And all I'm doing there is just taking that steady pulse and emphasizing certain beats. So I would just write out 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll just make one of the numbers bigger. And that's the one that we're going to emphasize. And the first thing I would do is go through a few of those, because 99.9% of the songs that you like to listen to are going to use one of those feelings. You could literally just write this down off the screen and you can just practice it on your own. Maybe I'll make a worksheet. If I do, I'll put like a thing in the corner here when I edit this video, and I'll let you know. All in all, you just work your way through them. I would clap, or you could slap your lap and just like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Either way, you just work on those for like a minute each as you count along and you feel it by clapping. If you want to take it a step further, you could even walk around. Like, this might seem crazy, but marching bands are a thing, and people tend to lock step, like in the army or whatever. And it's one of those originators, like music and dance are really tied in together. And sometimes to just walk around, it's not only good for you to walk around, like for your health or whatever, but it's going to help with your rhythm, believe it or not, because you're getting your whole body involved. And beyond that, you could even like listen to some music and you could clap along with it, and you could see if you could count out where those beats are. Because I had a student who she couldn't clap along with music. And this is what we did. We did this for months, and this was all that she needed. All of a sudden, her rhythm was unlocked. And, I don't want to like offer these promises, like do this and your rhythm will be magically unlocked. Everybody's different. But for some people, they're trying really hard, taking lessons for like 15 years. This is a true story with her. She's taking lessons for 15 years, and nobody took it back to step one and said, hey, I'm sorry, but we gotta pretend that we're absolute beginners with rhythm and work on clapping and all this, boring stuff. But all of a sudden it worked out, and it really helped her out. Now, the next exercise I want to do is some general coordination for subdividing. And notice these are all coordination exercises. We're getting our body involved. Understanding it on paper is one thing. Understanding how the counting works, that's another thing. But getting your body to move and then eventually translating those movements onto guitar, that's our goal with this one. So when it comes to subdividing, one of the best exercises, I don't know if this is a worldwide thing or if it's just like a North American thing, but there's this song, this kid's song that goes B-I-N-G-O. And, we're just clapping and saying bingo was his name-o, clapping those letters. That actually works really well for all ages. Let's just take a look at what we're doing there. We're in 4/4 time. Beat 1 is B, beat 2 is I, beat 3 has the N and G together on a single beat, and then the O is on beat 4. And when you put that with the counting, when you look at it the normal way, 1, 2, 3, 4, on beat 1 we have a quarter note, on beat 2 we have a quarter note, on beat 3 those are 2 eighth notes, N, G, and then on beat 4, the letter O, that's another quarter note. So quarter, quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter. And when you look at it that way, a lot of people, they'll just look at that from that technical perspective. There's a chance that it can overwhelm, it gets confusing. It adds extra information that's honestly not really required. Chances are you are able to clap B-I-N-G-O and it sounds totally fine and your rhythm's great, So let's just go from that angle of feeling it out. First, we count out loud and we go 1, 2, 3, 4. B-I-N-G-O. B-I-N-G-O. And then you can start doing the actual counting. You can go 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we use the nursery rhyme as a way to transition into actually counting it out and developing that ability. Another really good one is London Bridge is falling down. So that one has what would be a dotted quarter note followed by an eighth note. London Bridge. If we look at it in terms of counting, we're clapping on beat 1 and 2 and the and after 2. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and then the rest of it's just on main beats. So that's another really good rhythm to learn to feel naturally. The dotted quarter followed by an eighth note, which you don't really need to know what it's called, but just going London Bridge is 1, 2, 3, 4. London Bridge is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it's just so important to build these rhythms in. And I would do this for a ton of different traditional songs, Christmas songs, all those old school songs like Will the Circle Be Unbroken. It's not just kids songs, right? It's just anything traditional tends to have simpler rhythm. Around the 50s, music really started getting more complicated rhythmically. Earlier than that too, but that's when it really picked up in the mainstream with R&B and all that. Literally rhythm and blues, right? So it's good to just kind of step back in time and just work on those tricky little subdivisions in a really simple way. And now the last thing that I want to do is a little bit of hand drumming. And once again, it's one of those things that you might be like, why are we spending our time doing this? But when you're playing guitar, especially when you start doing hammer-ons and pull-offs, you're actually playing rhythms with both hands at once. You'll do actual rhythm with your strumming arm, but then your chord hand releases notes and pulls them off here and there. And that has to be worked into the timing. because you got to pull it off or hammer on at a specific time. I just want to go through some basic calibration exercises for getting your hands working together from a rhythm perspective. Once again, without any of the difficulties of like holding down the chord, pressing the right fret. We just want to focus on the rhythm of it. So I want to start out, I'm just clapping on my lap with my rhythm hand, just going 1, 2, 3, 4, over and over again. And then my chord hand is going to play certain beats. The first one is just beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're together on beat 1. And then your strumming hand continues the rest of the counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do this on your lap. You can do it on your steering wheel. As long as you don't crash your car, just maybe do it on your lap at home. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can maybe do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can just do all those rhythms that we did in step 1, right? Where we're emphasizing certain beats. And after that, we can change so that our right hand is doing all the subdivisions. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then our chord hand is going to do all the numbers. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And this might be a little tough to get started. So a simpler way to think about it is your hands go together and then your strumming arm goes one extra time. And you just do that over and over again. And when you're first getting started, it's probably not going to sound perfectly smooth. It's okay to do it that way. What some people might tend to do is they just do it kind of, it doesn't really work out. It's kind of janky. And they're like, that was great. I'm done. I'm going to move on. But the point is to take the time to do it right. You want to be able to like roll out of bed in the morning and just do this, no problem. That's the level that you want to get to with the simplest exercises. Somebody who really practices the simple exercises is going to get a lot further, a lot faster than somebody who kind of barely gets the more complicated stuff and then moves on to even more complicated stuff, who just skims the surface with a bunch of things. And ultimately, like drumming on your lap or on your steering wheel or whatever is actually one of the best rhythm exercises that you can do away from the guitar. You can eventually start getting into playing actual drum beats. And you reach that point by focusing on those simple things. This is all based on that. So don't aim to just memorize some cool beat. Learn the rudiments, learn the fundamentals. That's what every drummer does, and that's what turns them into masters of rhythm, and that's what you're going to do as a guitar player. Anyways, that's it for today. If you want to keep working on rhythm with me, I have a course, Strumming Made Simple. It's all about going from like beginner into intermediate or even advanced rhythm. We cover everything in a common sense way, just like this. In the very end of the course, I do talk about 8th notes, 16th notes, and all that stuff. But for the most part, it's all in a really simple, common sense way. I show what the rhythm looks like in a recording program so you can understand, like maybe you use GarageBand to record yourself or that's one of your goals. There's a little bit of that in there too. It's a good way to start understanding just rhythm and music in a bit of a deeper way, but it's just based on total common sense stuff that is going to be applicable to playing right away. Things that are going to help you right now. So please check that out. If you're more into the beginner side of things, I also have Learn Guitar Once and For All, which is a course designed for people who just can't get their chords and strumming together, but want to be able to play through songs. So that might be more up your alley. I'll put a link for that too. Otherwise, don't forget to grab your free copy of my ebook. It's free for all my subscribers. And speaking of that, if you enjoy learning guitar with me, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel and just take a moment right now, hit the like button and do all that stuff, because it really does help me out. Leaving a comment, just saying hi. If you have any questions, obviously I'd love to hear that too. Anyways, I appreciate you taking the time to learn with me. Have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.